President Ross listens intently as his advisors brief him on massive gamma spikes detected in a remote mountain range. When one suggests leaving it to the soldiers, Ross cuts him off with a steely resolve. Without hesitation, he orders everything mobilized and a dropship prepared. His determination clear, he adds, "Bring the boy." Once a celebrated weapons developer and industrial magnate, Stark's empire fell as the Gamma Revolution rendered his technology obsolete. Headlines screamed of bankruptcy and the absorption of Stark Industries, relegating him to obscurity. Years later, Stark's life ended in quiet tragedy outside of a bar in Queens, his body succumbing to the toll of severe liver toxicity and chronic illness. The obituary was stark. He left behind no heirs, his brilliance extinguished in the shadow of a world that moved on without him. The X-Men, branded as a threat, were swiftly annihilated in the fallout of gamma testing. Jean Grey's scream cuts through their desperate final stand, but the government's judgment was absolute. For humanity's safety, Xavier's school was obliterated, leaving only a rising nuclear cloud as a grim reminder of their eradication. The scientist stands frozen, his gaze darting between the grim displays of destruction. "God Almighty, this is barbaric," he mutters, the weight of it all pressing down on him. His voice rises, tinged with desperation. "Is there no one left? Blade? Moon Knight? Captain America?" The man beside him shakes his head. "You're just saying words," he says, his tone flat and drained. Bruce, bloodied and weary, exhales sharply. "Fine," he concedes. Alarms erupt, flooding the chamber with sound. The man at the console panics, stammering, "No, no, no, they found me!" His fear is palpable as he stumbles back. Ignoring the chaos, Hulk steps forward, gripping the steel doors. With brute strength, he wrenches them open, light spilling into the room. The man watches in stunned silence as Hulk strides into the brightness. Hulk steps onto the ledge, towering over the canyon below. Tanks and massive mechs line up, weapons humming with lethal energy. Unfazed, Hulk smirks. "Should have sent more." Banner, seated in his control room, brushes off the man's panic. "Don't worry, I've got this," he says with a confident smirk. Syncing the systems, he calmly instructs, "Stay here, stay low." Outside, Hulk rockets into the battlefield with unrelenting force. Banner's voice lingers as the door seals shut. "Don't come out! This won't take long!" Hulk hurtles through the air, fists clenched, roaring with explosive energy. "All right, let's do this!" Below, President Ross stands on the dropship's edge, barking into his radio. "Fire!" The command unleashes a barrage of devastating artillery, striking toward the incoming force of nature. Hulk barrels forward, unfazed, roaring defiantly as the first wave of missiles screams toward him. The air ignites with fire and fury, the battle erupting in a symphony of destruction. Blasts rip through Hulk as he barrels forward, their impact lighting up the battlefield with deafening explosions. Banner winces as the damage reports flood in, alarms blaring in his control chamber. "Critical damage!" The system screams. Frustration boils over as Banner slams a lever, gritting his teeth. "All engines, stage 4!" His determination mirrors Hulk's unstoppable charge, the two bound by shared resolve amidst the chaos. Within the engine room, a mental construct where Banner manipulates Hulk's psyche to draw greater power, the primal rage builds. Hulk, stripped of his robotic armor, roars in fury as Banner pushes him further. The door bursts open, revealing a new nightmare: the Marvel zombies. Thor, Spider-Man, Wolverine, and others stagger forward, grotesque and decayed, their eyes empty, yet ravenous. Hulk readies himself as the onslaught descends. Inside the engine room, Hulk tears through the Marvel zombies with unrelenting savagery, each blow scattering the undead horde in a gruesome display of strength. Meanwhile, in the real world, the armored Hulk endures an unrelenting barrage of firepower, his mechanical frame glowing with the impact. Ross watches in stunned disbelief as the full force of the attack seems to leave Hulk unfazed. Banner, seated in control, calmly asserts his dominance over both realities. "The waves, they break on me because I'm strong." His resolve unshaken as both Hulks thrive under the pressure. Screens flicker with images of destruction, the Hulk tearing through Ross's forces with unstoppable ferocity. Banner answers a sudden call. Ross's voice is sharp, commanding Bruce to turn himself in and have the monster stand down. Banner hesitates, his face a mixture of fear and exhaustion. Ross, unfazed, delivers the final blow. "Doesn't seem like you're much use to me, Bruce. That's okay. I'll have to send your star pupil in your place," he says with the chained boy at his side. The wind howls through the open hatch of the aircraft, but his focus remains unbroken as he holds the gun to his captive's head. On the other end, Banner pleads desperately, his voice cracking with panic. No, please don't do this, Ross interrupts sharply, his tone unyielding. 10 seconds. Banner, frantic, stammers as he grips the phone tighter, his eyes darting to the monitors displaying the ongoing chaos. Ross doesn't wait for him to finish. Stop your monster. Come out with your hands up or the boy falls. The silence hangs thick for a moment as Banner's face contorts with despair. Ross, I'm begging you. Don't. 10. Ross repeats, unfazed, cocking the hammer of the gun with chilling finality. Ross's countdown echoes. 9. Hulk roars through the battlefield, taking relentless attacks. In the control chamber, Banner hears the panicked voice of the other Bruce on the phone with Ross. This is Bruce. The other Bruce. I'm a little busy. Banner snaps, ignoring the plea to stop. The countdown continues. 8. 7. Inside the engine room, Hulk annihilates Marvel zombies, a storm of brute force as 6 rings out. Banner freezes, realization dawning. What? Ross's countdown hits its final note. 5, 4, 3, 2... He stops, turning to the restrained figure. Without hesitation, Ross delivers a sharp kick, sending the captive plummeting from the helicopter. Chains clatter as the figure is cast into the open sky, disappearing beneath swirling clouds. In the control room, Banner's voice trembles with desperation. No, stop! Don't do this! His radio crackles, his protest futile. On screen, the cloaked figure falls, bound and helpless, fading from view. Banner, talk to me! A voice demands over the radio, but Banner can only stare, paralyzed. What do you mean stop fighting? What's happening? Ross's forces are retreating, leaving behind a scene of chaos and unanswered questions. Hulk, towering amidst the ruins of battle, mutters to himself. They killed him. His voice, usually filled with unyielding rage, carries a rare sorrow. In the control room, Banner demands clarity. Who did they kill? The scientist on the line, voice heavy with guilt, responds. His name was Peter. He pauses, then adds, he was a research student of mine. Like a son to me. The grim story unfolds. Peter had been bitten by a spider that had irradiated in an experiment. The scientist had hoped to cure him, to save him from whatever monstrous transformation the radiation might bring. Meanwhile, the Hulk interjects, his tone uncharacteristically unsure. This might be a dumb question, but the spider... He trails off as Banner's face twists in concern. Exactly what kind of radiation are we talking about? Banner demands, suspicion already brewing. As the dust settles from the destruction, an ominous crackle fills the canyon by a hulking, grotesque figure descending with a terrifying force. The ground shakes as it lands, a monstrous fusion of arachnid and man, bearing the unmistakable emblem of Spider-Man warped across its twisted chest. Hulk stands firm, his fists tightening as the enemy looms over him, only resolve as he prepares for the clash to come. Let's smash! He growls, the words heavy with promise.